Hello friends. History shows religious figures are revered for piety and leadership, but some are infamous for scandal, hypocrisy, or brutality. Christian figures like Jim Barker and Ted Haggard lost their positions because of personal misbehavior. Barker for financial crimes and sexual misconduct, and Haggard for drug use and hypocrisy regarding morality. Figures such as the corrupt Pope Alexander VI and the extremist Girolamo Savonarola prove that misuse of religious authority transcends time. The cases illustrate the downfall of respected figures into corruption, causing distrust in religious bodies. In Islamic history, there are individuals who abused their religious power, sometimes resorting to extremism or violence. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the leader of ISIS, and Mullah Omar, who governed the Taliban, demonstrate the manipulation of religious beliefs for power and control. Examples like Hassan al-Sabah, who led the Order of Assassins, highlight the exploitation of faith to justify clandestine violence. A pattern of abusing religious authority is common to both Christian and Islamic scandals. The former often involve financial or personal moral failings, the latter militant extremism. While infamous, these figures are exceptions within their religions, and they highlight the risk of absolute power. India's landscape has long been marked by spiritual leaders, genuine spiritual leaders, but the post independence era has witnessed the troubling rise of the so called Holy Baba phenomenon. This phenomenon is driven by charismatic individuals claiming divine powers while often engaging in criminal activities behind their spiritual facades. This complex social phenomenon has deep roots in India's changing socio-economic structure and continues to thrive through a web of religious exploitation, political patronage, and media influence. The foundations for this phenomenon were laid in post 1947 India when rapid urbanization and industrialization disrupted traditional social structures. As people sought new sources of meaning and security amid these changes, spiritual leaders or pseudo spiritual leaders emerged to fill the void. Pioneers like Maharshi Mahesh Yogi, who gained international fame when the Beatles embraced his transcendental meditation teachings, demonstrated how spiritual authority could translate into global influence and substantial wealth. Similarly, Osho Rajneesh blended spirituality with contemporary ideas, creating a blueprint for modern gurus, pseudo gurus, whatever you want to call them. By the late 20th century, these models evolved into today's recognizable pattern. Self appointed spiritual leaders leveraging religious beliefs, media savvy, and socio-economic vulnerabilities to build personal empires. Unlike their ascetic predecessors, modern Babas accumulate wealth, construct lavish ashrams, develop business ventures, and cultivate political connections. And in the process, they create what we now recognize as the Holy Baba cult. Several interrelated factors explain the cult's pervasive influence across India. The cult thrives in a culture where religion remains central to daily life. Many Indians seek spiritual leaders for comfort, healing, and divine intervention, especially during personal difficulties. Babas position themselves as intermediaries to the divine, claiming supernatural abilities to cure diseases, bestow wealth, or resolve fertility issues. In this environment, rational skepticism often takes a backseat to mystical beliefs. Profound inequalities create fertile ground for the cult's expansion. Millions lacking access to education, healthcare, and stable employment find support within these ashrams, which often provide food, shelter, and education. The Dera Sacha Sauda, led by Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh, exemplifies this approach. His ashram attracts marginalized followers through charitable activities. Meanwhile, India's growing middle and upper classes, facing modern stresses, seek spiritual fulfillment packaged as accessible self improvement. A symbiotic relationship with political power brokers enables the cult to flourish. Politicians quote these leaders for their substantial voting blocs, while Babas receive protection, legitimacy, and impunity in return. Ram Rahim's influence in Punjab and Haryana has made him a valuable electoral ally, while Asaram Bapu reportedly received support from prominent politicians. This political shield often protects these figures from accountability. Television, social media, and even Bollywood have glamorized these figures, broadcasting their messages and alleged miracles to vast audiences. Baba Ramdev's Patanjali empire exemplifies successful media strategy, leveraging spiritual authority to build commercial power. No wonder his critics call him Lala Ramdev. Lala is the term which is used for shopkeepers and businessmen. The harmful impact of this phenomenon on ordinary Indians is profound and multifaceted. The most direct harm comes through criminal activities perpetrated by many Babas. Cases of rape, sexual assault, murder, and financial fraud recur with alarming frequency. Asaram Bapu's 2018 conviction for raping a minor and Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh's conviction, he also uses insan or human being as his suffix, for raping followers under the guise of spiritual purification represent just two high profile examples. Beyond physical crimes, the cult exploits psychological vulnerabilities. Followers surrender their autonomy, donate their life savings, perform unpaid labor, and sometimes violently defend their spiritual leaders or so-called spiritual leaders. The riots following Ram Rahim's 2017 conviction, which caused 38 deaths, demonstrate this dangerous devotion. Financial contributions to ashrams and purchases of branded goods create significant burdens, especially for impoverished followers. By promoting magical thinking over scientific reasoning, the cult undermines societal progress. Claims of miraculous cures or instant wealth creation discourage rational approaches to personal or societal problems. This adversely affects the spread of genuine education and scientific temper in the society. Violent clashes following the arrest of figures like Baba Rampal reveal the cult's potential to create social division and unrest. Politically, it subverts democratic processes by mobilizing supporters for partisan purposes, undermining secular governance principles. Such incidents reflect adversely on the quality of governance. The ecosystem sustains itself through a network of beneficiaries. The spiritual leaders themselves reap enormous rewards, amassing wealth through donations, businesses, and fraudulent activities. Ram Rahim's Dera empire, valued in billions of rupees, it includes schools, hospitals, and consumer goods. The contrast between followers' poverty and their spiritual leaders' lavish lifestyles, featuring private jets and palatial homes, is stark. Politicians benefit from the Baba's ability to mobilize voters, particularly in states like Haryana, Punjab, and Uttar Pradesh. This support often translates into legal protection, including delayed investigations or reduced penalties for the accused gurus. A profitable industry of media, publishing, and consumer brands has developed around the cult. Patanjali demonstrates the economic power derived from pseudo spiritual authority, which enriches associated businesses and investors. At the grassroots level, local elites, including landlords, business owners, and bureaucrats, form alliances with Babas, exchanging political support for various benefits. The Holy Baba phenomenon represents a complex intersection of spiritual longing, socio-economic vulnerability, and power politics. Understanding its mechanisms is essential for addressing the exploitation at its core while respecting genuine spiritual traditions that have long enriched the Indian culture. Abhinav Aurora represents a disturbing evolution in religious charlatanism. He is a child holy Baba with a carefully cultivated divine image. This young pseudo spiritual figure exemplifies how social media amplifies fraudulent schemes by exploiting India's deep religious sentiments. His background remains deliberately obscured, with family members orchestrating his rise while concealing their own involvement. This lack of transparency raises legitimate concerns. Abhinav Arora's ascent follows a calculated social media strategy which involves posting videos of temple visits, mantras, and interactions with established spiritual leaders to build credibility. His popularity stems from viral content rather than genuine spiritual insight. You don't expect a child to be a mature spiritualist. By early 2025, he had positioned himself as a self-styled Baba, delivering his first katha or spiritual discourse. This strategic move reveals his handler's cynical intent to establish a child guru who can exploit devotees' trust over many decades. His public appearances and online presence appear motivated by image building rather than spiritual devotion. The facade cracked in late 2024 when the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam filed a police complaint against Abhinav Arora for unauthorized filming in restricted temple areas. This violation of sacred protocols revealed his prioritization of content creation over genuine reverence, yet many followers remain loyal despite the controversy. Perhaps most concerning is the exploitation of a child. Abhinav's guardians appear to be sacrificing his normal childhood for fame and influence, raising serious ethical questions about his welfare. India's historical reverence for child saints provides fertile ground for Abhinav's deception, while social media amplifies his reach among gullible audiences seeking spiritual guidance. Despite growing criticism exposing his manufactured persona, many supporters cling to the illusion of his divinity. The Aurora phenomenon demonstrates how charisma and strategic social media presence can overpower rational skepticism, allowing a carefully constructed spiritual facade to flourish in the digital age. Bapu Asaram received a life sentence for the 2018 rape of a minor. Multiple women accused him of assault. His son was also convicted of rape. Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh Insan, Dera Sacha Sauda's leader, was convicted of rape and murder in 2017. The so-called Prophet Baljinder Singh, a convicted rapist, abused his spiritual authority to exploit devotees. He also has the dubious distinction of being the first Christian evangelist to be convicted. Nityananda fled in 2019 when he was charged with rape and abduction. Baba Rampal was arrested in 2014 for murder, sedition, and illegal arms possession. Swami Premananda was convicted in 1997 for raping 13 girls at his Tamil Nadu ashram. The exploitation perpetrated by self-proclaimed spiritual leaders in India reveals a darker side to the nation's rich religious landscape. High-profile cases involving figures like Asaram Bapu, Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh and Baljinder Singh expose not merely individual criminal behavior but systemic vulnerabilities in the Indian society. These spiritual cults flourish in environments which are characterized by poverty, limited educational opportunities, and governance gaps. Many followers seek these so-called godmen for solutions to problems that functional institutions should address. For example, healthcare, justice and social support can do much better job than what they are doing at the moment. The constitutional obligation of India's government to protect citizens from exploitation remains unfulfilled for millions of its citizens. Meaningful reform requires a multifaceted approach. Legal prosecution of offenders, while necessary, addresses only symptoms of a deeper social ailment. India must develop robust, accessible healthcare systems that eliminate dependence on spiritual healers and quacks. Equally crucial is widespread access to quality education that fosters critical thinking skills, enabling citizens to evaluate extraordinary claims skeptically. When people can distinguish between genuine spirituality and manipulation, these charismatic figures lose their power. And this applies to every other aspect of life, not just spirituality, everything else, including politics. This challenge reflects India's broader struggle to balance its spiritual heritage with modern governance needs. Only by addressing root causes can the nation protect vulnerable populations from those who weaponize faith for personal gain. If you have liked my video, please do like, subscribe, comment and share. Thank you.